Hocus Pocus. Hello, my name is Abigail, and on this channel, I talk about books and things that I'm passionate about. And right now, that happens to be putting up 31 videos in 31 days. And for this video specifically, witch books. In this video, you will see me read a total of 3 witch books. One is a romance, one is a horror, one is labeled as a horror, but I think it's more of a literary fiction type book, I think. I mean, Rachel Harrison is fantastic at blending um, genres, but let's get into it. So the very first book that you will see me read is a real true romance with like the element of one of the characters being a witch and one of them being a merman, and that is Witchful Thinking, and this is by Celestine Martin. So we have our main character Lucinda, who is a witch, and her 3 cousins all sit down one day and they start talking about their lives, and Lucinda has to write a excerpt of her life for her school's like award ceremony, and so she writes down what she wishes she could say. And when her ex Alex comes into town, things get strange. Wishes really do come true. And then we have Grady Hendrix' Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. This book is about girls who get pregnant before they're married, and they're sort of sent off to have those babies, adopt them out, and this way they are not having to be shamed for all of their sins. And I think that this book is truly horrific. It blends like actual true real life horror with witch horror, and I think that Wayward Witchcraft for Wayward Girls is a really smart book. And finally, we have Cackle, and Cackle is by Rachel Harrison, and this book is such a blend of genres, the way that only Rachel Harrison has proved herself to be capable of. Cackle is about a woman who just gets out of a very long-term relationship. She ends up getting into another school where she teaches, and she moves obviously, and she makes acquaintance with Sophie, and she slowly starts to realize that Sophie is the town witch, and Sophie has sort of reclaimed her life from the norm, and Sophie begins attempting to help our main character Annie do the same. Cute coffee check. I spilled coffee all over myself. Good evening. I'm home from work and I am pretty close to done with Wishful Thinking. I've actually been home for a while, but I've basically been vegetating on my couch. So haven't really done much. And I'm ready to go to bed pretty much. That's my plan. Take my makeup off, wash my face, rinse off, then go to bed. I really like this makeup look today though, so I'm a little sad to see it go. Hate to see it go, but I love to watch it get the fuck off my face. I'm happy to report I finished Wishful Thinking, and it's like a 3.5 star. It was better than I was expecting. So, and that's not like a knock on the book or the author or anything like that. It's just when I picked it up, I got it from Second and Charles for a penny a page, and its cost would have been $6.50 if it was any other day. So I wasn't expecting a 15-star novel, so to get something that I ended up really enjoying out of it was pretty good. Ultimately, it's a romance, so we know what happens. Our main characters end up together right there, and I really liked it. I think the side characters were my favorite. I actually really liked his parents, so that was good. I hate one of her cousins, so we won't talk about that. However, I think this is a series. At least I want to say it is. If it's not a series, then it should be, because I would read the rest of these characters' lives as well. I was right, it's part of a series, so now I have 2 more to look forward to. One of them is called Deja Brew, and I forgot what the other one is called.
something. But either way, I would probably pick up the other two in this series. Though it does make me a little sad because there's 4 Caraway children or women, and well, they're, you know, they were the grandchildren of the same woman, the Caraway, Grandma Caraway. I'm a little disappointed that not all 4 of them got a book, but I didn't like one of them anyways, so I'm not sure if I would have read that one. I started Witchcraft for Wayward Girls this morning, and I'm really enjoying it. I say enjoying it, but it's a really difficult read because what this is based on is women or girls getting pregnant and being sent away, and it really happened. So it's like, it's good, but it sucks so bad, you know? Anyways, I'm having a really good time. I'm glad I picked this one up for the witch vlog. I really like it, even though it hurts. Are the next words that come out of my mouth going to be a little dramatic? Yes. Starbucks brought back the apple crisp, and I have a reason to live again. Also, check it out. I got little mushrooms because today is National Mushroom Day or whatever. International Mushroom Day. Look at how cute my little mushrooms. They're so cute. Okay. Oh my god. Reason to fucking live. And guess what? I'm not covered in coffee. I'm sitting here waiting for Chick-fil-A to be brought to my car because I will not be going into the mall. I've grown really attached to these characters. I'm very close to the end. Well, I'm a little over halfway. I don't want it to end. I love it so much. So obviously the implication being Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Somehow these girls stumble upon witchcraft and they start practicing it, and what starts as a innocent enough seeming spell, they're soon locked in. And these nails, perfect for the witchy vibes, and obviously also my cute little mushrooms. But I think that this ending makes a whole, or the cover makes a whole lot more sense now. I'm really disappointed. I'm disappointed that this isn't a 7,000 page novel. I could read from these characters forever. This is truly like Grady Hendrix for a lot of people is hit or miss, and this one right here is a hit for me. There is one more Grady Hendrix that I intend to read for the month of October, so we'll see how I go with that. I did read Horror Store a long time ago. This is my second Grady Hendrix book. Despite me keeping up and knowing every novel that he has published, I've only actually read one. I don't know how many I own, but this is only the second one I've ever read, and this feels like a good one. It feels like a very good one, and I hate that it will end. I feel so much for these girls, and maybe it's because I myself was a pregnant teenager, unwed mother, whatever you want to call them, whatever you want to call us. I was one, and this is set in Florida. I live in Florida. Okay, that's 2. That's enough. But I feel for these girls. I feel for them deeply and completely. And it's a little female rage. It's a little women's rights. I support women's rights and women's wrongs, but mostly it's a story about girls who got a raw fucking deal from life, and they are doing what they can with what they have, and just, it fucking sucks, dude. It just fucking sucks. But the most horrific part has occurred, and it was pretty horrific. Well, the most horrific part to date. Maybe there will be another piece that's horrific, but yeah, I'm on chapter 24, page 281, and there are just around 475 pages. 476. That was a guess, but 476 pages. So I've got right around 200-ish to go, and this book is breaking me a little bit, and it's not breaking me in a bad way. Like, But it's sad. It's sad. So real quick, I am listening to Witchcraft for Wayward Girls, and regardless of whether you read the book or not, you know that these are young, unwed mothers, and they're going to have a baby. I am listening to this, and my entire body feels these scenes. And I had listened to a podcast that Grady Hendrix had done with Books in the Freezer podcast, which is a podcast I've been listening to for a really long time. I don't catch every episode. Sometimes I don't want to listen to an episode for like a couple months and then I binge some. Sometimes I cherry pick, but either way, if it's Grady Hendrix, I'm gonna listen, right? So I go and I'm listening to that a couple months back, and he talks about how much research he did for childbirth scenes, and it's fucking visceral, and I feel it. I feel it in my body, and that's not exactly what I signed up for this morning, but Grady Hendrix delivered. That wasn't meant to be a pun, but fuck, it's grotesque and gory and truthful and honest, and oh god, it hurts me, and I'm reading this for that scene alone. If I ignore the rest of the book, it could be a 5-star. Adding the rest of the book in, it very well could be a 4-star. I'm not sure what it is yet. It might be a 5-star for me. I don't know. Oh god. Like, it's body horror in the way that is disgusting, and you feel it in your body, on your body. The things that are happening, you can feel it. If you have a vagina, you can feel it. But the thing about this type of body horror is it's not made up. It's not like The Troop. It's not like body horror where things are like coming out of a person other than a baby. And that's what makes this so horrific, because it's like I can feel this, because I've been there in a different way, but I've been there, and God, Grady Hendrix, you could fool me if, listen, I understand you did a lot of research, but if I didn't know you were a man, I'd swear you had a baby before, sir. I'm done. And this shit hurt, and it's been real. I am glad it's over so that I don't have to keep reading this book, because it's visceral, raw, and real, and it hurts. And also my makeup is just sliding off my face. It's fine. I did little jack-o'-lanterns. Anyways, this hurts. It was good. It was really good. 5 stars, honestly. This is my favorite book that I've read in a long time. So, thank you for doing that for me, Grady Hendrix. Appreciate that.
So here's the story with Cackle. I read this in one sitting. I did not stop. I did not stop to vlog. I did not pick up a camera. Nary a thought to film anything was happening. I listened to my audiobooks in 2.5 to 3 times speed. And when you break this one down, this is about a 3.5 hour for the way that I read. And so in 3.5 hours, I drove to and from town. I cooked a meal. I played a little bit of games on my phone, and I I shaved my legs and I just lived in this world for 3.5 hours. And this is the first time in a long time that I have been able to just sit in a world for that long. And this book really does something for me. This book is, I think it might be, it's my second favorite Rachel Harrison. But I really, really enjoyed this book. So, like I said earlier, Cackle is about a woman who goes to a small town and she has to sort of restart her life. And along the way, you meet Sophie, who is slowly revealed to be the town witch, and things start off really like nice and fun and good, and slowly Sophie becomes more of a hindrance to her old life. But I don't think that's a bad thing. I think this book was, it's really smart. It's another genre bending book. This has female friendships and it's very little horror. It's, I'd say, the Rachel Harrison that has been the most horrific for me was Play Nice, which is her most recent release. The other two novels that I've read by Rachel Harrison and a short story have been more easy to digest, more horror light. And I don't think that's a bad thing. This one is going to get a 3.5, 4 star for me. I really enjoyed Cackle. I could have easily read an entire other book in this world, and I think that that says something, but this is labeled as horror. And so I expected to be horrified. And yet again, when it comes time for Rachel Harrison, I think maybe because Play Nice was the very first thing that I read by Rachel Harrison, and I had some unsettled moments, it didn't unsettle me. And I mean, there was one scene where I was like, whoa, Sophie, like, chill out, dog. But that's really it. Also, Harold, okay? We love Harold, all right? If you know, you know. If you don't, read this book and find out. And then the second book that you saw me read was Witchcraft for Wayward Girls by Grady Hendrix. I don't really feel like there's anything additional that I can add to this conversation about this book. This book is my favorite Grady Hendrix that I have ever read. This is one of my top 5 of the whole year. I can't think of a single negative thing to say about it. I know that there are some people who think that the witchy elements were like an afterthought, and that's because they were. Like, I listened to, I think I've mentioned this already, but I listened to the Books in the Freezer podcast, and Grady Hendrix was talking about this book, and in initial drafts there was no witchcraft in it. So for people to say that it feels added in later, I mean, that didn't bother me. It wasn't a thing that bothered me, because the true horrors of this time, where girls were sent away to have babies and give them up for adoption, and autonomy was not something that they even had. They didn't. And I think that that is horrific enough, and I think that the witchcraft added a small amount of autonomy, and I think that it was very smartly done, even though it was an after thought when it comes time for the witchcraft. So I'm not bothered by that at all. 5 star for this book, and this is my favorite of the 3. And I know every time I do one of these, I say that I don't like to compare them, but you can't help it. And so compare I did. And then finally, we have Witchful Thinking, which was the first book that you saw me read. This is a 3 star. It doesn't do anything spectacular. I enjoyed it. I think it was very smart of me to start with this one. In the past, I have started with the book that I was most excited about and then sort of forced myself to get through whichever of the ones that I wasn't. And when I had initially selected these books, some of them I owned already, and some of them were already on my radar, and some of them I picked up specifically for this. And I owned this one, and this was the one that I was least excited to read. I mentioned that I had picked this up at a Second and Charles where I paid penny a page price. So I was grabbing things that I thought looked interesting because the books that I would have ordinarily selected when going to a bookstore were not penny a page sales. So I was already selecting things that weren't going to be 5 stars. And I knew that. And that's okay. That's okay. So this was the one that I started with. I'm glad I started with it because it set the tone for things only getting sort of better. Now, I will say that ranking these books is very easy for me. I have my Witchcraft for Wayward Girls as a 5 star, so obviously that was my favorite. And then I'd say Cackle is probably a 3.54 star, and I really enjoyed it, but I wanted more. I wanted more, and maybe that's because I want more from this world. I don't know. Maybe that's because I really like Rachel Harrison's writing, and every time I finish a book, I want more from it. Maybe that's a positive thing and not something to detract. But Witchful Thinking, and this is by Celeste Martin, was a 3 star for me. It was just fine. It was fine. And there was nothing really wrong with that. But it fit the theme of the witchcraft books, and I enjoyed my time listening to it. And with that, all 3 of these books have been completed, read, rated, and reviewed. And whatever caliber review I have done, which probably isn't that good. I'm more focused on my tassels. I'm very easily distracted. I'm just staring at my tassels as I speak. But I had a good time with this. I had a really good time reading these books. I think so far, of all the ones I have done to this point, this has been my favorite time that I've had overall. I liked books from another vlog like this better, but this has been my favorite time. And honestly, it might just be because of the hat. Like, it might just be because of the hat. I don't know. Am I a 4-year-old? Yes, I am. But I really like this, and I got it for like $10, and I really think that that was a steal. And I feel like this is like, I get that it's a witch hat, but it's giving bad bitch. Like, I don't know. Like, not me wanting to find reasons to wear this hat outside of the house. This was a prop that I bought for this video specifically, and now I want to wear it every day of my entire life. So with that, I will let you go, and I will see you tomorrow with another 31 videos in 31 days. Bookaween. See you tomorrow.